In the fall of 2025, investigators in Connecticut made a horrifying discovery behind an abandoned house. A plastic storage bin containing the remains of an 11-year-old girl. Her name was Jacqueline Torres Garcia, starved, abused, and hidden away for nearly a year. This is the story of a young life lost, a system that failed to protect her, and the deception and cruelty that led to her tragic death. Born in January 2013, Jacqueline Torres Garcia, lovingly called Mimi, began life in a complicated family environment. Custody shifted early on, with state child welfare services becoming involved when she was still very young. At one point, Jacqueline's grandmother took on guardianship, raising her with stability and care. But as the years passed, Jacqueline's situation changed. Her mother, Carla Garcia, regained custody, and by 2024, Mimi was living in a home that would soon become a place of fear, punishment, and torture. January 2013, Jacqueline is born. Over the next several years, Connecticut's Department of Children and Families investigates several welfare concerns involving the household. February 2024. According to court documents, concerns increase regarding Jacqueline's safety, but despite past warnings, the case remains open with no decisive intervention. August 2024. Warrants later reveal that Jacqueline's mother and her mother's boyfriend begin a deadly regimen of punishment, restricting food and water, zip-tying the child, and forcing her to stand for long periods. Fall 2024. Investigators believe this is when Jacqueline most likely died. March 2025. A family relocates. Shockingly, Jacqueline's remains are transported with them, hidden in a container and stored in a basement. October 8, 2025. Acting on a warrant, police in New Britain discover a plastic storage bin behind an abandoned property. Inside Jacqueline's body, medical examiners determine Jacqueline died from prolonged starvation. The state's report detailed severe malnourishment, her body bearing signs of long-term deprivation rather than acute physical injury. In interviews, Carla Garcia admitted that the punishments grew increasingly cruel. Food and water were withheld for days. Jacqueline was restrained with zip ties. She was forced to stand in the corner for extended periods. She was punished if she had accidents due to weakness or hunger. At one point, both the mother and her boyfriend allegedly stopped feeding her completely for approximately 2 weeks leading up to her death. Investigators also found Jacqueline's remains wrapped in bedding, along with a powdery substance, suspected to have been used to mask odor. Even after Jacqueline was dead, the deception continued. In early 2025, state child welfare workers attempted a video check-in, but the child visible on camera was not Jacqueline. It was another girl impersonating her. The mother allegedly assured caseworkers that Jacqueline was healthy, homeschooled, and safe. Believing what they saw, authorities closed the case in March 2025, just months before the truth would be uncovered. Why did this happen? Court filings suggest an emotional motive. Carla Garcia told investigators she felt rejected by her daughter, claiming she was hurt by Jacqueline not wanting her as a mother. This resentment allegedly fueled the escalating punishments and the final act of starvation. Meanwhile, her boyfriend, Jonathan Nanita, is accused of actively participating, ordering, or encouraging the abuse. On October 8, 2025, after receiving information about a missing child, detectives executed a search warrant on an abandoned property. There, in a plastic bin, beneath household debris, they found Jacqueline's remains. Within days, 3 individuals were arrested. Carla Garcia, charged with murder with special circumstances. Jonathan Nanita, charged with murder and child abuse. Jacqueline Garcia, the child's aunt, charged with child cruelty and related offenses. Bonds for the primary defendants were set at millions of dollars. Beyond the crime itself, this case ignited outrage across Connecticut. How could a child, actively under DCF supervision, be dead for almost a year without the system realizing it? Experts and lawmakers questioned the lack of in-person welfare checks, especially in cases involving homeschooling. Many called for reforms, new verification procedures, and increased oversight for families previously flagged as high risk. The community was devastated. Advocates demanded accountability. Families spoke about the failure of a system meant to protect vulnerable children. Nationally, the case sparked debate. Should homeschooling families undergo regular physical welfare checks? Should identity verification be mandatory in remote assessments? Could Jacqueline have been saved with stronger child protection policies? Jacqueline Mimi Torres Garcia lived only 11 years, a little girl whose life was surrounded by instability, whose cries for help were unheard, and whose absence went unnoticed long enough to end in tragedy. Her story forces us to face uncomfortable truths. Safety systems can fail. Remote oversight isn't enough. Accountability must go beyond the courtroom. If change comes from this case, Jacqueline's short life will serve as the catalyst.